everyone, we are here. Baby Sagan is back. We're doing another Moon in Minutes video. Check it before you wreck it. Today we're talking about our girl Rhea. What is Rhea? Well, like another moon we talked about, Dione, Rhea is a happy moon of Saturn. So Rhea is a beautiful moon of Saturn. Its mythology name comes from a Titaness or a Titan. I think it's more a Titaness, but in Greek mythology, G mythology there. And she is the wife of Kronos, so pretty cool. Not from Chrono Trigger, as we may know that cool video game, but actually in Greek mythology, wife of Kronos, kind of cool. Rhea is also the second largest moon of Saturn. So, anyway, second largest moon of Saturn, quite large is Rhea, not super big, but she's a big girl, so she's pretty good size. As you can see here, Rhea is the 9th largest moon in the entire solar system. So it's got some size to it. 9th largest moon in the solar system. It is approximately 949 miles in diameter. So it is quite large, almost 1,000 miles. So it's pretty. I don't know how big the United States is, how lengthwise. It's like some odd thousands of miles long, but pretty good road trip there if you drive from one end of Rhea to another. So it's a pretty large moon there. It is the 10th largest in terms of mass, like the number of pieces of atoms and molecules and like pieces on Rhea. It's the amount of matter, stuff that it has. It's 10th in mass. I believe Oberon is above it in mass. So. But I'm concerned more in diameter here, but close enough. And its temperature range, just like its friend Dione, it is freaking freezing. Make sure you put your socks on when you go visit Rhea, okay? That's a crucial element here. I don't know, I don't have the averages here, we can figure out the average. But it is minus 281 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 174 degrees Celsius. That's crazy cold. These are some of its temperature ranges here. Actually, I don't know if they're the same. We can do quick math on that. Alright, so moving on with some information on our girl Rhea. So the discoverer is our boy, your boy, Giovanni Cassini, who discovered Rhea in 1672. Now, when he first discovered Rhea, he did not name it Rhea. The name Rhea came on much later. And like I talked about before, he named this was a star of Louis from King Louis. So there you go with our boy Cassini. But he did discover this beautiful gray-white world out there orbiting Saturn. So give him some credit on that. Here I wanted to showcase the size of Rhea a little bit to give you guys a kind of a glimpse, kind of what it kind of looks like. So Rhea here with this beautiful, I have a green marker, but Rhea is about this much here. Rhea would be about yay big right here. So Rhea is about half the size. It's like slightly over half the size of our moon, who I named Luna. So we have our moon here, which is quite large for a moon, especially considering the size of Earth and the size of our moon. It's quite a large system. But Rhea here is about half the size of our moon. It's a beautiful world in its own right. Our moon is beautiful in its own right. It's much larger. So take that, Rhea, But Rhea is still pretty good size. It would be kind of cool. I was always thinking about, in astronomical terms, mathematical terms, what if we had a 2-moon system? How amazing would that be? As we discussed earlier, Saturn currently, as far as we know, I believe it has about 83 confirmed moons around Saturn, which is pretty just crazy to think about, mind-boggling. But it would be amazing to think what if we had 2 moons in our system? What if we had 2 or 3 moons? How would that change the seasons? How would that mix things up with our astronomy? Would we have reached another moon that was like maybe a little bit closer? Because Rhea is a little bit further out, not too much further. But just imagine if we had different moons at different lengths, and maybe we could have gotten to the moon much quicker. Maybe we would have studied something different about one of the other moons. Pretty cool. But anyway, it's a good size. Something about the size of Rhea versus our moon. Pretty cool. Okay, so got a fresh board here, some fresh ideas for you guys. So we're talking Rhea. So one interesting tidbit I'd like to add about Rhea, lots of interesting tidbits actually. One of them is that scientists actually found a lot of streaks on the surface of Rhea, and they thought that it could have been geologically active. That was like one of their hopes, that maybe Rhea is going to be like super geologically active or something. Well, they actually discovered that it probably had plate tectonics a long time ago in its history, but no longer. So it's not really active anymore. It's kind of boring. It kind of just sits there. But that's okay. We still like Rhea. And its surface is about, let me jot this down for you guys. Its surface is actually about 4 billion years old. Pretty crazy. 4 billion year old surface. Very old surface. Our sun is about 4.5 billion years old at this point, and the surface is 4 billion. Let's know how ancient and crusty Rhea's surface actually is. Pretty crazy. But anyway, our scientists still were looking, taking their snappies. They discovered that 1 month on Rhea, just like we talked about Dione, 1 month is super fast. Remember, Saturn is like 90, I believe it was 93 times or 95 times the mass of Earth, which means that 1 month on Rhea is 4.52 days. Insanely fast. Whipping around Saturn is Rhea. Beautiful as it is going around super fast. And it's actually spaced out. Its distance from Saturn is actually, its distance about 300 something thousand miles. I think like 350,000 miles, something like that. Maybe 320,000 miles. It's over 300,000 miles distance, but going around very fast in just 4.5 days. Another fun fact that I wanted to dig in with Rhea here, a lot of moons actually have this feature, and Rhea is no exception. One side of Rhea is actually very heavily cratered, and if my marker works here, you can actually see lots of, it looks like a cookie almost. You can see like it's a cookie, I call it Cookie Rhea. So we've got Cookie Rhea here. All the little dots. All little craters. So I got basically 1/2 of Rhea here is very heavily cratered. Very ancient. Its surface, again, it's 4 billion year old surface. Billions and billions. All the craters, all the little dots, all these little sections, all these little pieces and fragments within and within Rhea. I think I just made up a word there. Heavily cratered, but on the other side, there's some craters. There's definitely cratering going on, but it's not nearly to the degree as this side. Now, this is a very kind of a common feature of a lot of moons. Our moon in particular as well. The dark side is much more. The dark side of the moon is much more smooth and less heavily impacted. I don't know precisely why. There's probably many different theories out there, but I want to throw that to your attention. So one side looks like a cookie. One side didn't get as many chocolate chips, unfortunately. So there you go. Kind of cool. Okay, one final factoid about the beautiful Rhea. Its gravity. Can you all guess the gravity that's on Rhea? Now we know Rhea is half the size of our moon in terms of diameter. So we know just off that, we know that the mass and its diameter is much less than our moon. So we know, alright, it's probably going to be very light gravity. Well, how light gravity compared to the Earth in this case? Now, in the case of Rhea, its gravity is much less than the moon even, because the moon is more massive and larger. Well, in the case, comparing it with Earth's gravity, the pull that we feel as we walk around, as we breathe and sleep and eat and pay our taxes and all that stuff, we got the gravity of Rhea here is 0.027 G. So when you feel 1 G over on Earth, here on Earth I should say, I'm not an alien, not yet anyway, but we have 1 G here on Earth, which is the normal everyday pull and tug that we feel here on Earth. We have 1 G. Well, on Rhea, pretty amazingly, pretty significantly, it's 0.027 Gs. That's basically nothing, folks. That's crazy. That's insane. You basically, I don't know how high you could possibly jump on that. Someone else can do the math on this one for me. But that's basically nothing. You can jump probably mountains on this thing. Maybe not exactly, but you can jump quite high with 0.027 gravity Gs on Rhea. Pretty crazy. One final fact is, what I do know is you could easily kick a 100-yard field goal if you were to play football on Rhea. So maybe in the future we'll go play the Olympic Games over on Rhea, the beautiful icy moon of Saturn. Pretty amazing. Just imagine them just kicking the ball, just like teams line up. Maybe they have to make a football field that's like 300 yards long so they can kick a 100-yard field goal. Pretty crazy, pretty insane. And he's like, Rhea's awesome. I get to kick this football. And he's gonna have a baseball cap because he feels like it, even though he's playing football. There we go. Okay. So there he is, kicking his 100-yard field goal on the moon of Rhea, the ice ball, beautiful ice ball of Saturn, another beautiful moon in our solar system. That is all for Rhea. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, the moons in minutes. That is all for me this time. I will see you next time on the channel. Please comment, like, and hit that sub sandwich button. Thank you so much.